Here we're graphing a piecewise defined function. It's in 3 pieces, and the x values that break up our graph are -5, -1, 0, and 3. So I'm going to plot those points, those x values on the graph. And then from -5 to -1, x equals -5 to x equals -1, I'll follow that top rule. So the y values will be the line y equals 2x, but I'll only have the piece of that line from -5 to -1. When you plug in x equals -5 into 2x, you get y equals -10. So that'll be the first y value that I plot. And you can see in the rule that it says -5 is less or equal to x. So I'll use a filled in circle to say we're including the point where x is equal to -5. And then when x gets to -1, you plug that in, you get 2 times -1 is -2. And there's no equal sign on that right inequality there in the first rule. So I'll put an open circle there. Then for the second rule, I'm starting at x equals -1. Plug that into the function, but the function is just -2. It doesn't matter what the x value is. So when x is -1, y is -2. So then I put a closed circle there at that point. Notice it's closing in the circle that we had before that was open. And I just keep y equals -2 all the way out to the right until I get to x equals 0. When x is actually equal to 0, I put an open circle there. Move down to the third piece. It follows a parabola x squared minus 2. If you plug in x equals 0 into that, you just get y equals -2. So the point 0, -2 is on the graph. So I fill in what was the open circle there. And then after that, we've got a parabola. I'll plot the point where the graph ends. It's at x equals 3, y equals 7. So the graph looks funny here. It's this slanted line from x equals -5 to -1, flat line from -1 to 0, and then parabola from 0 to 3. Second, I need to know where it's increasing, decreasing, constant, and continuous. So increasing from -5 to -1, the y values go up. They don't go up from 0, from x equals -1 to 0. And then they do go up from 0 to 3. So I'll just union those two intervals together. It's never decreasing. As you move from left to right, the y values never go down. It's constant only from x equals -1 to x equals 0. That's where the flat part is. And then the graph is continuous on every piece of its domain, because everywhere there was an open circle where it looked like there was going to be a hole or a break in the graph, that circle ended up getting filled in. So it's continuous all the way from -5 to 3. And then third, we're supposed to evaluate the function at x equals -3. Slight typo there. It says g of -3. It should say f of -3, since the function is given as f of x. So all we need to do is plug in x equals -3 into that function. And remember, we've got to determine which of the 3 rules do we use, which of the 3 pieces do we use for x equals -3. And if you think about it, it's the left-hand piece from -5 to -1. X equals -3 fits in that piece. So we just find the y value there. The function was given as 2 times x for that piece. So 2 times -3 is -6. That is the function value f of -3.